issues that JR has, there's no way you can relate. Because JR's issues are twice as much as yours were. Because in your situation, your world was smaller. Click of a mouse, he's in Japan. Click of a mouse, he's in a place you've never seen before. So if the world is so much more accessible, for them, their issues have to be bigger. We can't expect to reach them. Don't change the message. Change how you deliver the message. Change your method. The reality of the situation is, it's still one God. The same God that saved Houston of Georgia is the same God that saved me. Is the same God that's going to save TJ. It's the same God. But the way you received it is going to be different from how I received it. And we're close, so it's going to be still different for him. But it's the same God. We have to understand, put our grasp around it. So I don't want a reaction. Reactions are easy to come by. A reaction, I heard somebody say this, a reaction is something you do when you're unsure of your answer. Understand that. If I quiz you and you reacted quick, it's because you're thinking you're going to trick me with your answer. It's a reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction. It's a kind of, you hit me, it's a reflex. Most reactions are off reflex. A majority of them. For this message, I don't need a reaction. I don't need to open the altar and have everybody flood on a reaction and then go home the same. I would love to see a response. What's a response? They sound similar. A response is a sure answer. It's an answer that when you say, I'm taking that step, I'm going to be desperate enough to get here, that I know I'm not leaving the same. Understand that. When you have a response, in your mentality, when you have a response to say, I'm going to be desperate enough to get there, I'm going to be desperate enough to stay at this altar, stay where I can meet Christ, stay where he can change my situation. I'm desperate enough that I'm tired of dealing with this issue. I'm tired of being where I am. I'm tired of it, and this goes for young and old. Young ones, if you're, and some of the young ones, their issue are their parents. If that's the case, be desperate enough to come change it. Because there's nothing you can tell them. There's nothing I can tell you as a parent, as the youth director. Brother Phipps, listen, I'm still a boy. And with all due respect, that's how you're going to look. You have to understand, I have to take them to the altar and say, listen, only God is going to change the situation. Kick, scream, crawl, do what you have to do. But don't leave here and not get God. Do not leave here and not grab a hold of what God has for you. It's crazy. You're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised tomorrow, young and old. And if you have him and you're an onlooker, the reality of the situation, get back to him. He's moving. He's constantly moving. How is it that you have a monopoly of where you have him from when you got him but the first time? That makes no sense. If he's constantly moving, Sister George, and you don't move, you're further away from him. When you met him, you were here. But as he moved, you're still happy holding him there, but I'm here. I'm looking at Sister Bowen. If you're holding on to me, you'd come with me. We'd both put Sister Bowen together. But the further I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with what I have. You've lost your desperation. You've lost your moment. You've lost your ability to say, let me hold on to what I have. God is somebody, in my opinion, this relationship with Christ is something that you have to have, you have to want every day. Every day. When I got married, Bishop, I know they probably told you, when you get married, you have to continually date your wife. You can't lose that fire. There's no way you can do it. There's no way. The moment that fire is gone, the relationship is done. You can't get satisfied with, yes, I married my trophy wife, I'm good. No, you can't have it. It's the same with God. The reality is get to his hem. You don't even need him. Let him do what he has to do. You need him. You don't need him. You need him. Get close enough to touch his garment. When when you get to his garment, pull yourself up and get to him. But you got to get to the garment first. The further you are from it, as a matter of fact, the further you are from him is the closer to his hem you are. Wow. The further you are, the closer to his hem. Because again, in my story, as he walked, I'm looking at the back part of his hem. I'm not looking at a side view because he would have known who touched him. He would have known who touched him if it was on the left. He would have known on the right. He would have known if she came right at him. It was the back. So if it's the back and he's moving, that means she had to be far and she had to work to get to his back. Technically speaking, he turned and asked who touched. He stopped from where he was going, turned around and said, who touched me? Not him, it's him. Our God is so powerful that he can feel you touch his hem. He can feel you touch his hem. At what point are we going to get to the point where we can do that? Come to drive, we want to see miracles. We want to see God move in this place. Why aren't we touching his hem? Covington Drive, we are too far from where we're trying to be. Covington Drive, we are too far from him to where we want to be. And as a warning, I'm telling us, let's touch his hem. As a matter of fact, he might have been too far to get to, but his hem is there. If we touch him and he stops, I can get to him. If we touch his hem and he stops, I'll get to him. But if we don't even take the time to say we're going to stop at his hem, it's a wrap. He's going to keep moving. The Bible says he stands at the door and knocks. He's knocking at the door. Can he kick the door in? Yes. Does he know what's going on the other side? Absolutely. But don't be foolish enough not to open the door. The first step is opening the door. If you choose not to open the door, what do you want me to do? If you're happy and satisfied knowing that, look to the people and say, well, that's God, that's on you. But don't hinder the rest of us because you're not smart enough or desperate enough to open it. Come in. Open the door. Open the door. If you're, I'm done. If you're desperate enough to get him, the door is open. We've opened the doors. We've opened the door. We've done it. He's here. If you can't feel him in here, that's another issue for another sermon. But at the end of the day, he's here. I'm telling you. Who's desperate enough to come get him? Even as I'm speaking, who's desperate enough to come and get him? If nobody moves, hey, it's between you and God. I understand. But I'm pleading and I'm asking. Who's desperate enough to come and get him? Who's going to kick, crawl, and scream? You got to get here. Forget who's next to you. Forget your friend. Forget your mother. Forget your parents. Forget who's going to call home when they get home and say, who cares? Come and get it. Come and get it. Pastor Phipps tells us all the time of people who, when you guys would tarry for hours. For hours. If a young person chose to come here and get desperate now, if your concern would be, I'm ready to go home, then you need to be with them. You can't pray for them and need to be in the same position. Get desperate enough. Open your eyes, your spiritual eyes, and try to picture how far you are from God. Try to picture and see how far you are from God. Because at this moment, I'm asking, I'm pleading with you. Get desperate enough to change your issue. Whatever that issue may be. Come here to touch his hem. Don't let him walk by Covington Drive and not stop. He wants to stop. He's asking for a moment to stop. He's asking for a moment to say, who touched me? Who's at 3333 who touched me? He wasn't upset. He wasn't mad. He wasn't frustrated. He wanted to know he wanted to acknowledge who touched him. It wasn't a scolding. It wasn't something that was wrong. It was, you touched me. I need to know what I did for you. It was a moment to witness. Let's not be like the disciples. Let's not eliminate the first female evangelist by not trying to let him stop for food, go away for food. He had to sit at the well by himself for that evangelist to come to him, to go back and say, come see a man. If the disciples were there, she would have never got to him. At what point are we going to say, I need to be desperate enough to touch him? I need need something so bad from God that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. Whatever I have to do, I'm going to do to get it. Because if I don't get it, I may not make it. Some of my young people's issues are stuff that they can die from. We'll be having another funeral here, Pastor. And unsure, simply because they weren't desperate enough to come and get it changed. Come get it changed. It doesn't make any sense. Come. I'm asking you, come. If you have an issue, come. Don't sit and watch. Come. Even while I'm talking, come. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If you have an issue, he's here. His train filled the temple. It didn't halfway do it. It's here. Come touch. Come touch. Come touch. This is his garment. This is the moment. This is the time. Adam Jones told us all the time, we have one chance, one moment, and one choice. This is it. This is it. This is your moment. How is it possible you're not getting this? This is it. I'm waving the flag. It is. And it's not for y'all. I love to see them come, but it's for everybody. Who's coming? Who's desperate? We're in a church. We're in an environment where you're coming to get healed. Forget who's looking at you. Forget it. Forget it. Get here. Do what you have to do to get here. If there's kids, put them down. Ask somebody, you have to get here. Get here. It's a moment. Get here. Pray. When you get here, touch him. When you get here, touch him. Tell him your issues. Tell him your issues. Tell him he can fix it. It's a touch. It's a simple touch. Tell him your issues. Don't be too proud to tell him. Tell him. Open your door. Open your door. Open your door. Let him in the house. Let him in. Let him in. Open the door. Don't be afraid. Don't stop. Don't quit. Don't quit. Get him. Don't quit. Get him. If they turn off the lights, we'll stay. Don't quit. Don't quit. Push. 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 You're at a critical moment. Push. You can't stop. Forget the crowd. Forget who's looking, who's watching. Push. It's you and God. You have a single target. Push. Push. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Forget them. It's you. They may be fine. It's you. Push. Push. He loves you too much to see you fall. Push. Push. Cry, kick, scream. Let it go. You're not going home with that issue. Let it go. Let it go, whatever it is. Let it go. I don't even know. Let it go. Push.